You say the good, the bad, the vegan.
The bad, the vegan.
I'm Bethany.
And I'm Scott.
And we are
the
Full-Time
Full-Time
Humans. All right.
Did you listen? Do you know what we did there?
Do you know what we did?
Because I'm Bethany.
And I'm Scott.
And we're still the Full-Time Humans. We're just in a silly mood today.
Yes.
We're actually going to share something about being vegan. So we're going to cut to Scott real quick and let him kind of give you a reason why.
Wait, this Scott?
Nope.
Or that Scott? This Scott.
We'll find out.
Okay. My wife asked me to do an intro on why we went vegan. And a little under a year ago, I realized that I was addicted to food. I'm an emotional eater. And when I was sad, I ate. And when I wanted to celebrate and I was happy, I ate some more. And what we realized is I was not feeding my body properly. I was eating unhealthy and I was gaining weight and just being sluggish. So we went vegan and we went whole food to eliminate all those issues I was having because most of it was emotionally based. So please check the link below. It's to the original blog I wrote dealing with the fact that I'm addicted to food. And if you have any questions or you have any insights, please make sure you comment below.
Now that you know a little bit about why, and you've taken the time to read the blog so you understand more.
Of course they did.
I know they did. I know they paused the video, went and read the whole blog. We'll give you a second. Did you like it? Okay, good. Now that you totally are on board, know exactly where we are, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the vegan.
Number one, we're gonna talk about the good. The first thing about going vegan is you lose weight. You detox, and when I mean detox, if you haven't tried it before, you'll know exactly what I mean. But you will shed pounds, especially in the first month or so. I believe I lost almost 30 pounds in 30 days. But that shows you how unhealthy I was over here and how healthy I went over here.
Numero 2.
I don't know if I can top that too.
I know, I'm really liking the 2. Numero 2 is that we became a lot more environmentally conscious. So we kind of like learned really to look more at like what we're doing, what we're using. We really wanted to get more away from chemicals. So being vegan doesn't just change your food intake, it changes your life view in a way.
It's kind of a cultural change.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing this, like we didn't really have like necessarily like a stance on it when we started, but you kind of learn to watch things and look at things differently over time. So that's definitely something to know. And we thought that was a good thing.
Number 3, I said this a little bit before, you feel so much better, especially late in the day. Late in the day when your batteries run out, typically, you feel invigorated. You feel more mental clarity. You feel like you can take over the world at 5 or 6 in the afternoon when typically the world to you looks like a nice nap and maybe a
Cup of coffee.
cup of wine. I was thinking a glass of wine.
Either way.
Either way.
Whatever time it is your jam. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
The bad.
The bad.
The bad.
The bad. Oh, is it your turn? It's your turn.
It's my turn.
Yes.
So I think the first bad is it can be very expensive to eat vegan. You normally have to go to a specialty store. Now, some of the mainstream stores are starting to have some options for you.
Right.
And obviously you can get fruits and vegetables pretty much at any grocery store.
Beets and rinds. Beets and rinds.
Beets and rinds too.
Rice and beans.
Beets and rinds. That's our new thing. We're good. Hashtagging it.
Beets and rinds.
Trademarking it. Whatever.
Yes.
Beets and rinds.
Some of the best things are by mistake. You just can't go wrong with that.
Okay, so with that, it is hard to find lots more options like condiments and things unless you have specialty stores next to you.
And we're talking to you, Montana. Talking to you. Number 2, the food you do get that is vegan friendly, you have to be careful of because a lot of it is processed.
Yeah, the prepackaged stuff, whether it's in the freezer section or anywhere else, it has a lot of stuff in it.
And the trap is, and we fell for this trap, and we still fall for this trap because it's sometimes it's easier.
Convenience.
It's convenient, is that the processed food is not really healthy, so you're kind of defeating the purpose of going vegan anyway.
Yep.
Unless you're a moral vegan, which we'll talk about that in a minute.
And I did hear somewhere that Oreos are vegan. I don't know if that's true, but...
They are, but they're highly processed.
Exactly. Doesn't mean it's healthy.
Exactly.
Okay, and number 3 is that it's very labor intensive if you're gonna make a big meal. I was making meals, it was taking me an hour and a half for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because there's so much stuff to do. There's lots of ingredients, lots of steps. It's not a quick 2-minute process. It is a process to get everything chopped up. Cook this like this, cook this like this, put them together, bake them.
Right.
Like it's not a quick thing.
And
with
some of
most
the
things we
ingredients,
found.
some of the ingredients are kind of wacky too to keep
Yeah,
it
just
vegan.
to find them, it was really difficult.
Yes. Those were the 3 bad parts of going vegan, or difficult parts is probably the better term for it, but it didn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah, the good, the difficult, and the vegan wasn't as fun.
No, not at all. So let's talk about some vegan tips, okay? First off, I want to point out, because I mentioned moral vegans, we're what I would consider a health vegan, and I don't know if there's an official...
There's probably a title we don't know.
Right, but I'm saying we eat to be healthy. We're not morally against eating animals, although as we started doing this more, we became more cognizant of eating animals, right? So a moral vegan is someone who eats vegan because they don't want to harm or use animal products. No problem with moral vegans at all. It's just not who we are right now. It may change.
And we do still eat meat. We've kind of gone back to eating chicken and fish and different things. So we do eat meat from time to time now.
We did the good,
We did the bad.
and now we're doing the vegan.
Vegan tips.
So there's a difference between eating vegan, and we kind of discussed this before, and eating whole food. Whole food means you're not getting anything processed. When we first started eating vegan, we didn't put oil in anything, we didn't add sugar to anything, and everything we bought was as whole food as possible. There's a difference between the two, okay? And if you're doing this for health reasons, it is better to go whole food, but it's not always reasonable every single day to go whole food.
And just a quick tip, whole food is basically like a plant-based diet. So it grows in the ground, you eat it. If you had to process to make it, you don't eat it.
In its most basic form, right? That's how it
That's like
works.
the easiest way to understand it.
Now, tip number 2 to go vegan.
Go vegetarian first.
Yes.
Like, we can't tell you how many times, like, we wish we would have gone vegetarian for 6 months first, because when you go from eating meat, carbs, all these crazy things, and then you go to, like, almost vegetables and fruits, and you have a few carbs and stuff in there, it was a huge change all at once. We basically had to empty our cabinets and start over. And then you go vegetarian, and then you decide vegan. I think it would be a lot easier of a process.
It's also easier on your body, and I will tell you that we
shock.
saw more failed vegans who went straight vegan, and almost every vegan who's been doing it long term were vegetarian and worked their way into it.
Yes.
And believe it or not, being vegetarian is hard too, but when you have the ability to eat eggs and have little things here and there,
cheese,
and
dairy.
cheese, it makes it much easier as the transitionary
Yes.
period happens. Last one you need to know, and we discussed this in the beginning of the video, is the why. In my case, we both wanted to be healthier. We both wanted to change our lifestyle. We also wanted to try something different. But because I have an addiction to food, that became our why. My wife supported me in the process. And there were times when she was not happy when supporting me, but she was there. So you need to have a why. If you don't have a why to what you're doing this, whether it's an environmental cause, whether it's to save the animals, or it's to eat healthy, you're not gonna last more than a couple weeks.
And for us, it was really, we had to save Scott's life. He had an
Yes.
addiction, and we had to break the addiction. It wasn't a choice for us that we made lightly. It was something that we decided we had to do. So yes, we are humans, and that's kind of one of the big pieces of that phrase. Full-time humans.
Human.
So we're learning as we go, changing, and we're trying to be honest about that. So we do have one bonus tip for you. One thing that we learned was while you're out and about, he doesn't even know this is happening. You see him reading it?
I'm reading the notes.
Is make sure you have snacks with you. If you're gonna be vegan or vegetarian even, have nuts, have granola, have trail mix, like have stuff in your vehicle with you. Because we would be out and about, we'd get hungry, and you don't have a lot of choices.
Yeah, there's not a lot of options out there, and I will tell you, we had bottled waters in the trunk, and we had trail mix that my wife made, homemade trail mix.
Yep.
Because you'll be surprised what they add to other trail mix.
So we hope you learned a little bit about being a vegan. Like we said, it's a really quick overview, but for us, we wanted to give you the good
The bad.
and the vegan tips.
And we're not perfect vegans. We're eating much better than we were a year ago, and that's what matters. And I'm hoping by next year we'll eat better than we did this year.
Our life is all about a journey and all about getting us healthy as we can be and as easy on the environment as we can be. As always, if you have questions, comments, or anything that we could do for you, throw them below. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and make sure that you watch our newest video, which is probably right around Mount Scott's face right here. So make sure you check that out too. And we hope you have a great week.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks for watching.